Good morning, period 2. I'm out today with strep throat, so you have a substitute, and I didn't know who you were going to get, so I'm screencasting the lesson today. I want you to get out your grid compositions book, and I'd like the substitute to be going around and making sure that everyone has their grid comp book out and that is open to factoring quadratics. While you're doing that, I'll just remind you that I expect better than your best behavior when we have a substitute or guest teacher. It's not easy to be a substitute teacher, and I expect you to be helpful and polite. I don't want any nonsense with sitting in a seat other than the one that you've been assigned by me. And of course, I expect you to be participating and doing the very best job you can. I will be back tomorrow for sure. This is the last day that my doctor says I'm have any danger of being contagious. So here we go. So you have your grid comp book open to factoring quadratics. And Kevin, I'd like you to come up and I'd like you to help out today by sitting at my computer so that you can push pause and then restart the video at different places. So come on up and you get to sit in my seat today and help me out. Okay. So I'm showing you how to factor quadratics today, and I know that you've maybe had a little bit of experience with that already from last year. So one reminder is that you're looking for the numbers that will multiply together to be equal to your C term and add together to be your B term. And I'm going to be showing you a method of keeping track of that, I'm sorry. And it's called the diamond. And what the diamond does is it organizes what you're looking for in multiplication wise, and it's always whatever A times C is. Now in this case, A is 1, and C is just 6, so 1 times 6 is 6. That's where you're seeing the 6 over here. But in general, you have to do A times C, and so you have to remember that if A is a 2 or anything other than a 1, you're going to need to multiply that times your C terms. And then what goes here is your B. So here's the diamond for x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now I want this diamond to be in your notes. And I'd like it there because that's your reminder that you have of how the diamond is always set up. And I also want this diamond in your notes, along with this problem should have been copied down, because I want all problems with all work to be written down. Now I'm showing you that I'm looking for the numbers that multiply to equal 6 and add to 5. Normally I don't make this list out, but I'm just showing you as a reminder for this first one, and then I won't be doing it again after that. So I know that 6 is equal to 1 times 6, and 2 times 3, and negative 1 times negative 6, and negative 2 times negative 3. But of these pairings that multiply to 6, the only ones that add together to be equal to 5 is this one. And so I've placed the 2 here and the 3 here, and it doesn't make any difference if the 3 was here or the 2 was here. That's not going to make a big difference at all. So now I'm actually done with the problem because this tells me that the factors are x plus 2 and x plus 3. Now, you should have all of this copied down onto your grid comp book, and I want you to be in the habit of checking your work to make sure that your factored form is equivalent to your standard form. So now on your graphing calculator, in a second I'm going to have Kevin press pause, not yet Kevin. And on your graphing calculator, I want you to type in x squared plus 5x plus 6 on y1. And on y2, I want you to put in the quantity x plus 2 times the quantity x plus 3. And I want you to make sure that you've got the exact same parabola. And Kevin, when everybody has done that and they're standing to show you that they're done, then you can move around, and the substitute should be moving around and making sure that everybody's on the right track. Okay, Kevin, press pause. Okay, the next problem I want you to copy down is x squared plus 2x minus 19 equal 5. Now this one was not set equal to 0, and so the first thing I need to do is set it equal to 0. And that's really easy to do. All I had to do is subtract 5 here, and you're writing this down, and subtract 5 here. That's going to give me 0 here and negative 24 here. So I now have x squared plus 2x minus 24. And remember, this is a times c, and this is b. 1 times negative 24 is negative 24. And the b term is 2. So I'm looking for two numbers that can multiply together to be equal to negative 24, but will add together to be equal to positive 2. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24, and 6 plus negative 4 is 2, which means my solution is the quantity x plus 6 times the quantity x plus 4. So once again, you're going to put in the two equations into y1 here and y2 here. And Kevin, you will push pause, and you won't start again until everyone is standing, indicating that they have done that. Our next equation that you need to write down in your grid comp book is 2x squared plus 6x plus 4. Now on this equation, I'm going to first divide every term by 2 before I use my diamond to factor. So here I go. 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared. 6x divided by 2 is 3x. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now you'll notice that I can't just make that 2 magically disappear, so it's still out here outside of the parentheses, and it's really 2 times the quantity x squared plus 3x plus 2. This is what I'm going to factor now with my diamond. So a times c is 2, and b is 3. Alright, so here we have the two numbers that multiply together to be equal to 2, 2 times 1, and that add together to be equal to 3, 2 plus 1. So that means my solution is 2. Again, that can't just drop off. You need to bring it down here. 2 times the quantity x plus 2 times the quantity x plus 1. Now, again, you're going to put this into your y1 and this into your y2. Don't forget the 2. It's part of what you have. And Kevin, you're going to pause, and you'll start again when everyone's standing. My next equation is 3x squared, you're writing this down in your grid comp book, plus 21x plus 36. Now last time I divided by 2 to simplify a little bit. This time I'm dividing by 3. So here I go. 3x squared divided by 3 is x squared. And 21x divided by 3 is 7x. And 36 divided by 3 is 12. Now I need to insert that 3 because it can't just disappear. Now here's our a times c, 1 times 12, and here's our b term. Looking for two numbers that multiply together to equal 12, 3 times 4, and add together that equals 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. So our answer is 3 times the quantity x plus 3, that came from here, times the quantity x plus 4. Now before you put these two into your graphing calculator this time, you just want to make sure that you're doing fine here. If this was a negative 3 right here, then this would be x minus 3. If this were a negative 4 here, then this would be x minus 4. Okay, so I want you to put this into y1, and I want you to put this into y2, and Kevin, press pause. Our next equation, which you're going to copy into your grid comp book, is 2x squared minus 18x plus 36. Now all of these terms are divisible by 2. So 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared. And negative 18x, be careful about that, divided by 2 is negative 9. And 36 divided by 2 is 18. And then we got to make sure the 2's there. It just can't drop off. So here we go. We're looking for the numbers that multiply to be 18 and add to be equal to negative 9. Okay, negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. And negative 6 plus negative 3 is equal to negative 9. So our answer is 2, that came from here, times the quantity x minus 3 times the quantity x minus 6. Okay? Our next problem is also able to be factored before we get started. This time we're going to factor by 4. Copy down the problem, 12x squared plus 40x plus 32. Okay? Now show that you're dividing by 4. And here we go. 12x squared divided by 4 comes out to be 3x squared. And 40x divided by 4 is 10x. And 32 divided by 4 is 8. We've got to get our 4 in there. Okay, now, this time it's really important that you were paying attention to the fact that I said this is a times c. It's not c, it's a times c. This is 3, and this is 8. And if you were to do a times c, you would get 3 times 8 is equal to 24. And so our 3 times 8 being 24 becomes the thing that goes inside of this spot and the diamond right there. Okay, our b is still 10 right there. Now this problem, excuse me, is going to be a little different because I still have to find the two numbers that multiply to be 24 and add to 10, and I did that, 6 and 4. But this time, because a was not 1, I took the 3x and I put it over here above the 6, and I put it over here above the 4. And now I have to simplify if I can. I can't always do so. So I'm thinking to myself, if I have the fraction 3, 6, what can divide evenly into both 3 and 6? Well, 3 can. 3 goes into 3 once, and 1x is just x, because 1 times x is x. And 3 goes into 6 twice, and so that simplifies to 2. Over here, there's nothing that can divide evenly into 3 and 4, and so I'm going to leave that 3x and 4. And so now look at what I have here. I have my 4. Okay, that came from here, right here. And I have x plus 2. That came from the simplified form of 3x over 6. And from 3x over 4, I have 3x plus 4. Now again, you're going to check this on your graphing calculator. So Kevin, before you push pause, remember everybody, you are going to put in this equation and this equation. And Kevin, give everybody time. Don't start again until everyone is standing. In our next equation, we have another situation where the equation is not set equal to 0. So just to get started, we have to set it equal to 0. Let's first copy down the problem. 7x squared minus 15x plus 6 is equal to 4. Now to get it equal to 0, we just subtract 4 on both sides. And of course 4 take away 4 is 0, and 6 take away 4 is 2, and that gives us the equation 7x squared minus 15x plus 2. So a times c, 7 times 2 is 14, and then my b term is negative 15. The numbers that multiply together to equal 14 and add together to 15 are negative 1 and negative 14. Negative 1 times negative 14 is positive 14. Negative 1 plus negative 14 is negative 15. Now here's another problem where the a term was not 1, and so I put 7x over here. I have the fraction 7x over negative 1. and I put the fraction here, 7x over negative 14. Now this side cannot be simplified, but this side can, because the biggest number that can go evenly into 7 and 14 is 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. And negative 14 divided by 7 is negative 2. So from this I have x minus 2, and from this I have 7x minus 1. And there's nothing on the outside because we didn't factor anything out. So go ahead, Kevin, and everybody, you put in the two equations, and Kevin, press pause. Okay, now I'm giving you 4 problems, and what I'd like you to do with these 4 problems is I'd like you to go ahead and solve all 4 of them in your grid composition book, and then when everybody has had a chance to solve all 4, and you can help each other at your tables to make sure everyone's doing well, then Kevin is going to play again, and you guys can review and make sure you're on the right track. Now this last problem that you can see on the screen, the one that's kind of cut off, 5x squared, I think it's minus 14x, that one's not one of the problems that you have to do. You only have to do, excuse me, I'm losing my voice here, x squared minus x minus 12, and t squared plus 2t minus 19 equal 5, and d squared plus 10d equals negative 16, and 3a squared minus 12a equals 15. So Kevin, press pause and don't start the video again until everybody has had a chance to complete those problems. Okay, here we go. So here's our first problem. And our second problem, I have that going a little fast, and we'll slow it down a little bit here. Okay, that's a little ridiculous. Speed it up here. And notice that our factors were the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x plus 12. Hopefully you checked those, and you already know that that's the right answer. And here's our next one. You're checking your work and making sure everything looks kind of like mine. And the next one. And hopefully you remembered in your final answer that the 3 has to be on the outside because you hopefully began by factoring that out. Okay. So now your homework assignment. Now, because I'm gone, I don't have a worksheet to hand out to you. So there are, I believe, 18 problems. I'd like you to copy these on lined notebook paper. And this will also be up on Edmodo for you, all of the problems. But make sure you copy the problems in class, and then make sure that these are done and turned in for tomorrow. Remember, again, there shouldn't be any wrong answers. And the reason there shouldn't be any wrong answers is because you are using your graphing calculator to double check and to make very sure that each of your standard form matches your factored form answers. Do a good job today. Make sure that you straighten up before you leave, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Remember, this is on Edmodo.